Okay, now I'm going to talk about homework assignment number 4. Let me bring my homework assignment number 4. Okay, so homework assignment number 4 has 2 parts. The part 1 is really about a exercise for you to learn the issue about memory layout affecting the performance. So this is covered by one of the previous lecture, but I just want to show you that the motivation behind this part 1 is related to this link. This is from the, I think it's CS 216 or 214, which is a very interesting intro course at the Carnegie Mellon University. And the program I show you is actually over here. This program is copyij and copyji. The two part of the function copyij and copyji, they look really similar to each other, but the performance difference is huge. I mean, for example, the author, when they did this experiment, they actually realized that copyji, which is a second piece of code, is more than 80 times, wait a minute, more than 19 times slower than the first piece of code. And I observed about 6 times, but because the computer architecture is different, so the scale is somewhat different. But the conclusion is the same, is that this piece of code is much faster than the second piece of code. Okay, so this is a good for you to look at this, to run this program, to measure the time yourself, and then try to find the explanation about why that this first piece of code is much faster than the other. It's good for you to actually read this article. They talk about a system perspective because Unix and the system is one important item that we need to cover in ECF 36B. And this is from the programmer's perspective, even though logically they look exactly the same, but it's our responsibility to know the difference. Okay, so this is part 1 of homework assignment number 4. And part 2 of homework assignment number 4 is that now I want you to actually see the layout of memory that's related to the idea difference between multiple inheritance and virtual inheritance. So I present in my slide, let me actually go to my slide. Let's save this first. So this is the layout between virtual inheritance and multiple inheritance. By the way, there are inheritance. There are 2 meanings to the inheritance. Um, um, I mean, usually we only know the first one, but we forgot the second one. The first meaning of inheritance, really inheritance is for me to reuse some definition, declaration, and the implementation. So I inherit from the other class. I'm just inheriting all the property. So that is one part of the inheritance. It's related reusability and extensibility. But the other perspective of inheritance is really about what we call memory layout. Means that when you do the inheritance, you really create the memory space for the element of the object or class that you inherited from. So the thing is that before you instantiate any object, then you don't need to worry about memory layout. All you have is you're inheriting code, you're inheriting member function or private member or public member. But the thing is that when you instantiate the object, then you also inherit the amount of memory that's actually required for you to realize the object. And when you talk about memory layout, then the multiple inheritance gets split into two parts. One is multiple inheritance, one is virtual inheritance. And they looks like this. This is not, I mean, if you inherit the code, this two figure on the top is the same. But if you talk about the memory, then it's going to be different. So multiple inheritance means you have two copy in memory of the base, the most basic class account. But with virtual inheritance, you only have a one copy. You have a one copy means that this value is going to share by both derived class, and as well as the one copy for the work study class here. But with this scenario that the work study actually have a two account object in memory, which means that you want to update the value, you have to know they might be different. So there is a memory layout difference because C or C is one of the very unique programming language that allow the programmer to directly access the addresses and the content in the memory. So in other language like a Python, you cannot say where is this particular, what is the address of this particular reference. You don't have that. But in C++ and C, you can actually know exactly where it is. And because of that, programmer is aware, have this awareness about this memory location. And sometimes when they develop program, that will matter their logic as well. And also it related to the casting. So in so in this homework assignment, you can see that virtual inheritance, I have a 4 element, multiple inheritance of 5 element. I want you to actually find a way to print out the address of each of the element. That's essentially what I'm asking you to do, okay? And that's what I'm asking you to do. You can see that you create this program, that there is a work study called work study object called obj_ws. And the thing is that now you have this A1, E1, S1, W1, and what are those? So let's go back to my slide. What is A1, W1? Because I have this code, account, employee, student, and work study. A1 is basically the account, and E1 is employee, S1 is student, W1 is work study. So essentially, I want you to print the address of those, and you see that how they are related to each other. Okay, and the thing is that one of the tricky part I can tell you that is regarding the multiple inheritance, because you're going to have a 2 copy of A1. And how do you actually print, how do you actually print the A1? The A1, that this part might be tricky to actually print its address because you have 2, and how do you actually print it out correctly? Okay, and you need to write the program. So I'm going to give you this 2 definition that the first link, multiple inheritance.h, is the same program as this one, this code here. And the other one is, of course, the virtual inheritance is represent this piece of code. So you have this piece of code to integrate with your test program, but you find a way to print it. So it's not going to, you're not going to write a lot of code, but just understand the pointer, and so you will be able to get to those values. Okay, write 2 programs. One is called testmi.cpp. One is called testvi.cpp. Just print this 8 or 9 value, 8 value, or 7, because for no, 7 or 9 actually. If it's virtual inheritance, you have a 1 address to A1. This you will have 3 address, and you have a 3 address to the object pointer under the influence of casting. But for multiple inheritance, because you have a 2 of A1 and you have a 2 of this account star, you might actually print both, okay? All right, so that's what homework 4 really is, all right? Any question?
I have a question.
Please, go ahead, Jenny.
So when I was looking at the .h files for multiple inheritance and virtual inheritance, I saw that when you define AI manipulated anywhere else, it just kind of seems like a variable that happens to be a long integer, if that makes sense.
Say that again. You said I define this as unsigned long, A1, right?
And then it just kind of seems like you defined a variable and then didn't get assigned it a value. So I was wondering how that was a reference. And I printed it out and I got long integers, but I was just wondering like where they came from, how each variable got its value.
Okay, so I to illustrate the point, I simplify a lot about the detail about the class. In fact, those are just, this example was just created for to understand the it's just created to understand the idea, the difference between virtual inheritance and multiple inheritance. It doesn't mean to be complete. So I just need to define a variable there, so I will have some memory occupancy. If I don't have this, I don't have the memory being occupied there. So A1, I didn't write any code to assign the value, because for this homework assignment, we're really interested just the address of this. I mean, regardless how we assign the value to A1, E1, S1, W1, their address won't change. So there are two concepts. One is the value, the content, which I didn't set it. But for this homework, we're really interested in the address perspective, which is the pointer.
So it's basically a mock address in a sense?
What do you mean a mock address?
Is it like, so if I were to print out WS or W1, is that the actual address for the work study? Or is it, no? Okay.
No, it's not, you're not printing W1, you're printing and W1. So the let me actually here my lecture to describe
Oh, I think I get it now.
yeah. So we're talking about the address, which is M address. Let me see if I have a yeah, I don't know where that go. Yeah. So so W1, if you just refer W1, is you're referring to value, which is not the purpose of this assignment. The purpose is really looking at N W1, the N%, which means the address of that, because that really give us information about the layout, about where it is, where it really is. Because we want to see, we want you to see the difference when you do inheritance differently. Their memory layout, or by looking at the value of the address, they're quite different in the way they got set up.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other question?
Do we need to write .cpp for the both multiple inheritance .h?
Yeah. So that's why you have to write two programs. One is called test, mi.cpp, which is you testing for multiple inheritance. And you write another code called test vi.cpp, which is testing for virtual inheritance.
Oh, so their .h file is the .h file you gave us.
Right. Yes, exactly. So this two test program, there just need to be include homework homework 4 part 2 underscore virtual inheritance.h or homework 4 part 2 multiple inheritance.h. Yeah, for respectively. Yeah, for this, you don't even need to submit the make file because it's just one program. It should be really simple. It should be only a few lines of code. Okay. Are there a question? Let me see. There is a chat, right? I haven't seen the chat, so let me take a look at the chat.
I have a question.
No, the number one, I just want to answer this question. Sorry, very quickly. Homework 4 is not due Friday. It's going to be due. I think a lot of you are still without sleeping for a few nights, including myself. Friday is too brutal to ask people to do that. So yeah, just take your time. I mean, we will release homework 5, and I mean the major battle is homework 5, not homework 4. Homework 4 is just a snack. Okay. Nathaniel, are you still here?
Yes.
So what do you mean by how can we tell the difference if they are identical?
Oh no, I already had that question answered though. Thank you though.
Okay, okay,
I have another question though.
sure, go ahead.
So in order to test the multiple inheritance and virtual inheritance, we will be passing those 3 objects, the employee, student, and account.
You don't need to pass 3 objects. You just need to create 1 object. Because when you create 1 object, you actually automatically create in memory layout others. So because for example, in multiple inheritance, when I create a work study object, this is the memory that's created for that object. Because I inherit from student and employee, it will have a regional memory that's actually put the employee object, put student object, and because I have a 2 account, they will create 2 account. And this 5 region of memory, they will be put together and referenced by the pointer, a reference to see that. Yeah. So so thank you, Nathaniel. I think that's an excellent question. Is that for the test program, you really just need to create 1 object, which the rest will be automatically allocated for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let me go through the. I don't understand this one. Use the time command. Maybe I will show a demo about what the time command looks like. Okay. So I don't want Python. I don't want Jupyter Notebook. Let me actually make my windows slower. Just want to tell you what the time command looks like. So for example, make a clean. Okay, so make is a command, right? So I can do time make. Okay, it says nothing to be done. So you basically put a time and whatever you want to do. So I can say time make a clean. You can see that clean probably take a little. Oh, actually, clean takes fairly similar amount of time. But now I'm actually do a time make again. So now it's actually taking a long time. So there is 3 timestamps that will be given by the time command. One is called real time, one is called user time, one is called system time. So you will see that most of your program will be spending time on the user time. User time means that you are executing some program that's belong to yourself, belong to the program you develop at something we call user space. You will learn the concept about what's the difference between kernel space and the user space when you take a courses like ECS 150, okay? So essentially the real time is adding user time and system time together, but not exactly the same, okay? But what is assistant time? I just give you an example. For example, you want to send a network packet. You want to send a network packet, and that involves you tell the kernel to send the packet out to your Wi-Fi interface. And that amount of time is actually your system time. So by doing time command, you not only know how fast your program running, and also you know the distribution about whether the time is spending on your code or the time has been spent on the operating system kernel's code. Okay, so that's the time command. Yes, Alexis. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you just basically. I actually write a program to include that to actually have that copy function to different version and run it and using the time command, and you will see the difference. I would say Anna, I would say at least 20. At least 20 for this one. Oh, 28? Did I say 28? Okay. Oh, John is right. Maybe 28. We'll decide between 20, 25, 28. Okay. I think I'm going to release it this week, homework 5. I'm almost ready to release homework 5. Okay, apparently there is a mismatching for 1108. Okay, I will debug that. And TA, maybe you help me to debug this. Okay. This is also a question by Alexis. Okay, Jenny, what is this? Is private message? I'm not supposed to show it here. I don't know. How do you get two different value of A1 for multiple inheritance? Okay, that's Alexis. This question you asked. That's why I want you to figure out how do you actually get to that. That is actually one of the challenging point. I want you to figure out when you have a multiple inheritance, looks like this. You have a 2 copy of account, and how do you actually get to them? Okay, how do you actually get to them? The hint is that you have to leverage employee or student because they are actually you get it inherently from employee and student. I will let you figure out. Okay. Oh, Nathaniel, I think you misunderstood that the small program. The small program is for everybody that counts 20% of the class. Okay. It just want you to run more program and read more program, and to make sure that you're not only working on the homework, which is the scope is bigger, but you also work on those small things. Okay. Yeah. Trias, you asked similar question like Alexis. Yeah, I will let you to figure out. You can try your program a little bit here and there, and you can see that how do you actually get to that. I mean, maybe it's easier for you to first try virtual inheritance, because virtual inheritance, you only have a 1 copy of account. So once you get done with the virtual inheritance case, then you move to multiple inheritance to see both. Okay. There's only limited number of options that you can do. And then the compiler will tell you they don't like this notation, and then you try it out, okay? Or you can Google, that's okay. Nathaniel, we have a, I think I had the announcement earlier. I will, if you didn't see it, let me know. I'll send it to you about that announcement, about doing that homework. Okay, any other question? You don't need to, Julia, you don't need to make the changes to the program. You just need to run it as it is. And it's an automatic process. And then we actually, we actually compare the result from that. If you change the program, the result might mismatch. But you're encouraged for your own learning to change the program to see how that works. Okay, but by the way, one of the things I might include it in homework 6 is that I consider every time you submit a assignment, it's like a post. So somebody, I would say, for example, you can see that on Facebook. It's Facebook. Just to let you know, this was I was playing around this idea just yesterday. When you have this post is saying that, oh, somebody announced this, so we will have a post say this is John XYZ. John actually finished yet another small program. This is a 20 of that. This is a status update, and then this will be a post and will be distributed in the class server. And then another student, they can actually download that JSON and add, say, oh, I like that, or congratulations, add a comment or add a like to that, and then send it back to the server. So the second student who read this update will see that not just about John finished this experiment, but who actually made the comment, who actually liked. Okay, so that's something which I think naturally we can experiment that idea in homework assignment 6. Okay, any other question? So I said homework assignment number 4 will be due on the same due date of homework assignment number 5. So I think I announced that yesterday. Yeah, I said probably be due on the same time. When I say probably, means yes, because I'm the instructor, I'm allowed to make that call. But you can submit, you can hand in homework for any time. If you get it done, just submit it, but it's not going to be this Friday. It's going to be at least, I would say, 2 weeks from today. Okay, any question? Okay, I will be here still right now until 3 o'clock. If you have any question, let me know. I also know that I just want to tell everybody I have been contacted by a small number of students who like to make an appointment with me one-to-one to discuss their progress in this class, I'm always happy to do that. So just let you know, this is your option. You can arrange that with me. I will make myself available to talk to you because there is certain issue which you might not feel comfortable. I won't feel comfortable to discuss certain issue in the public. So I will, the protocol it will work, just to let you know, is that we're not going to discuss here. So it will work is that you contact me with email or Facebook, and then I will create another chair room and I will send you the Zoom link. And then set certain time, you just click that into the room, okay? And I think I have somebody right after this class at 3, so I will drop out at 3 o'clock. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, I'm going to first stop the recording.